I'm the historian actually here at 15th Street, your neighbor. I'm also somebody who celebrated with you at the old Middle Collegiate Church. May it rest in peace. We at the Quaker House, we live with a love for the light and peace that is in everyone's hearts. I don't speak for the whole meeting today, but we did agree that I should come up and say a few things. And if they sent me, they sent someone who loves speaking about radical nonviolence. And what really strikes me about Peter Stuyvesant is that his autocratic intolerance of any religion except his own is antithetical to the First Amendment and the Enlightenment ideals about religious freedom. You don't have to be a radical or progressive to really understand that Peter Stuyvesant represents something tyrannical. The Bill of Rights prevents the suppression of religion, of speech. It forbids cruel and unusual punishment. But Stuyvesant was for all of these things. You could say that this statue is an affront to the Bill of Rights. It's an insult to the freedoms that we seek and have yet to perfect. Stuyvesant was a slave owner. We need a radical abolition of the prison industrial system. We need to remove memorials to the Confederacy in New York City and in the South. We need to support the voices of anti-fascism and anti-racism and not memorialize and honor slaveholders. We hereby invoke the spirit of truth that runs through history to come now and shake us up and change us and make us more alive. History, I assert, is a vibrant, powerful, living, breathing entity. It's you and me right here. Stuyvesant specifically hated us Quakers. He tortured a Quaker, Roger Hodgson, who was a young convert and a preacher. That act of torture in New Amsterdam led directly to Stuyvesant losing power. He lost public support. When the British came to take New Amsterdam, the people refused to fight. His violence, your violence, and your intolerance were so fresh in the collective memory of the people, the British were able to convert New Amsterdam to New York without firing a shot. The lesson here for us all is that nonviolence works. Now this sculpture, let's really interrogate this sculpture. It was made by the hands of a female sculptor, Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney. Whitney, I feel, from her work, was on our side. She was a modernist, and she later founded the Whitney Museum of American Art. I assert there's an implicit criticism of the way she depicts the little, arrogant, puffed-up Peter Stuyvesant. And if you look closely at the face, what do we see? We see a sneer. Peter, is that a sneer on your face? Where is your love for the people? And in the end, the good news is that Stuyvesant's stiff religious intolerance, his suppression of Jews, Quakers, Lutherans, and Catholics in his lifetime resulted in a public retort from the citizens of Flushing, New York. They wrote a document condemning his intolerance, and they called it the Flushing Remonstrance. It became a precursor to the Bill of Rights. Did you know that? Yeah. So from somebody so negative, ironically enough, our freedom performed. Not from Peter Stuyvesant, but from resistance. So what is our collective vision for this park? Some call it Stuyvesant Square. Some don't. A new version of this park would include criticism of all the crazy tyrannical things that Stuyvesant did. We could create a public referendum, Harvey. We should create a public referendum, we the people, and ask the community to vote. And I think we would win.
We win. You have to be on city council to do that, just saying.
Well, we should talk. I think this is just the start of a movement.
It's a
Community
movement.
Alliance, the Middle Collegiate Church, the Quakers, and other groups. So, what about renaming it Underground Railroad Park? What about that idea? We could replace this statue with a statue that honored stolen labor, slave labor. I'm wrapping up, so I know my time is up, but I want to remind you today, as the historian of the 15th Street monthly meeting, that New York State was not very quick to outlaw slavery. It was one of the last northern states to do so.
Wow.
Right. God is on my side. I can hear it from the Lastly, I want to say New York City has often put commerce over social justice.
That's right.
But the historical consensus is changing. Look at this gathering here today. A new kind of park could help be a guide towards a new kind of New York.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Let us all be guided by the common love in our hearts.
All right.